Okay, bao buns, this is the first stage, which is making your dough. So in my bowl, I've got the plain flour. Now with this recipe, everything is measured in grams, including the weight of the liquid. It's the safest way to do it. So in here I've got my flour, I'm adding active yeast, milk powder. Now, you don't have to necessarily get such a big tin, it's just I use milk powder when I make ice cream. So the milk powder's going in, baking powder and sugar. Give it all a stir, mix it through and make a well in the middle. So I've got a jug with some vegetable oil in. I'm now going to add, you want your water warm, not hot. I've been running my tap for a bit, so it's warm, and I'm going to measure it in. And oh, it's gone off. Oh, well, there you are. We've seen it live. So I'm actually going to make up for the fact that I've poured some in. A little bit more. Okay. So I'm going to just do. There we go. And I'm going to now pour the liquid into the middle of the bowl. And then with a spatula or spoon, you want to mix it in. It's going to be quite a wet mixture. Here we go. And then I'm going to be getting my hands in, and it will all stick to my hands. But it's supposed to. Just move that out of the way. I find it much easier to knead on a kitchen surface rather than on a board. Right, so I'm going to tip it out. I'm not going to flour the surface of the kitchen top because there's plenty of, there we go. Just put the bowl to one side because you're going to use that to put it back and prove. The whole process of making bao buns is you're making the dough. Now also, actually, I'll just stop there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it, but I've got a jar of plain flour here because as I start kneading it and it still sticks to the palms of my hands, I will keep adding flour. You're not going to harm the dough by adding more flour because this is really quite wet. You see it's, so you just do like a tablespoon at a time, adding to your hands. And you'll keep doing that, you'll keep adding to your hands as long as it's sticking until it stops sticking. So I will be doing this and I won't bore you with having to watch it. See, it's still sticking to my hands, so I'm going to put another tablespoon on. Embrace the mess. You know, it's not permanent, you can clear it up. I used to hate the mess, but I live with it now and I love it. There we go, it's sticking to my hands again. So just rub it on. I can already feel it coming together. It's nice and warm because the liquid was warm. So you'll do this for 5 minutes and then go back in the bowl and you'll cover it and you will leave it for 90 minutes. The next phase after that will be another prove and the rolling out, which I'll show you. While this is resting, you can cut yourselves in preparation for making the buns. Lots of little squares of baking paper. So this recipe should make about 20 buns, depending on the size that you roll them out, because you could do little canapé size buns or you can do bigger ones for greedy families like mine. Okay, so the dough was rested and proved for 90 minutes and had doubled in size. I've been kneading it for about the last 5 minutes. This is just to get all of the air bubbles out, which I've done. I can feel a few popping, but I think I've got it all now. So the next thing we're going to do is flour your work surface and flour the top. And we're going to roll this out. Ooh. Go. I suppose it's maybe I'm looking at it, it's quite hard to roll out because it does bounce back, but just keep rolling. And I guess you want it to about, I don't know, half a centimetre. It hasn't got to be any particular shape because anything that's left over we'll just roll out again. Oh, there we go. That bit's a bit fatter up there. Try and get it even. You don't have to be too precious about it. So next thing, paint the top with vegetable oil. You can use sunflower oil if you want. Any flavourless oil. Here we go. Oh, I'm laughing because there's two cats at the window. Okay. So that's all covered in oil. Next, I'm going to take, this is an 8cm pastry cutter. This is perfect for a main course size. You'll have maybe 2 or 3 for a main course or a starter. You can use a much smaller cutter if you want to make them as canapes, finger food. So I'm going to cut a few out so that you don't have to watch me do the whole thing, but just a few for you to see. All of these bits that are left over, you'll be able to just ball up, roll out, and go through the process again so that you use up every little piece. So there's the start of your bun. You're just going to fold it in half. Now you can either flatten it with a rolling pin, or what I find when I'm doing the really small ones, I find a rolling pin a bit cumbersome. So you can use a bottle or a glass jar. It's just easier. And that's it. Then those little bits of paper that you cut out earlier, just put it on the paper, put it on a tray, because they're going to prove for another 45 minutes. 15, yeah, they're going to proof for another 45 minutes. So I'll carry on doing these and I will see you back in 45 minutes when we talk about steaming. So the bao buns have had their second proof for about 45 minutes. Either in a wok if you've got a wok, or I'm just using a big pan with slanted sides. I've got boiling water in there. What you want to do is with your steamer basket, make sure that the water isn't covering the steamer basket. So because I've got so many bao buns, you can actually cook them stacked up. So I'm now just going to load these in very gently because they're full of air. They feel like lovely little pillows of air. Get one more in this one, I think a smaller one. There we go. And now another basket on top. And the last few, hopefully I'll get them all in. If not, you can do it in batches. If you've only got one steamer basket, just do one batch at a time. So you're going to steam these for 12 minutes. After the 12 minutes, you turn the heat off under the water. Do not remove the lid and let them sit for a further 5 minutes. After that, they are ready to eat. Now, they're not all going to fit, so I'll come back and do those. I'll just put these on. So they're going to sit on there with the lid on. And I'm going to set the timer for 12 minutes. These can be stored in an airtight container for 3 to 4 days. And then you would just reheat them by, again, popping them in a steamer. Or you could put them in the microwave just for 20 seconds. So you can make quite a lot, keep them in the fridge, stick them in the microwave for 20 seconds and they'll reheat. Or once they're cooked, you can freeze them and then steam them for about 10 minutes from frozen. Bao bun. Okay, time's up. Let's reveal the bao buns. Oh, beautifully steamed. I'm just going to take one out. Ooh, ow, that's almost too hot to handle. But you'll see, I'll take some film later of when we actually eat them, but they just prise apart so easily. I'm going to leave these to cool. and put my last 2 on, and good luck with your bao bun making.